Hey, what's up everybody? It's Lids, and we're back for some more Gwent, and today we're playing more of the Double Down seasonal event, which is an alternate game mode in which all of the cards in our deck get duplicated, and then whenever we play a unit, we will play a random unit from our deck with the same provision cost. That means that we can play 2 copies of some of the strongest units in the game. And today I am going to show you one of the most effective combos I have ever seen that will teach your opponents to fear the Salamander. Let's go take a look at the deck. So today we'll be using a Syndicate Jackpot deck that is built around what might be the single best finisher in the entire game. But first, let's talk round 1, in which we'll use Doadrick to draw cards, and Snowdrop to draw cards and get boosted whenever we draw those cards, which gives us a high point set of engines that are our only 8 provision cost units. Then we'll also play the Sly Seductress, which will get boosted every time our opponent plays a card, and because our opponent plays basically twice as many cards in this event, this will get boosted a lot. And this is our only 5 provision unit, which means if we play one, we're guaranteed to get another. Then we can also use the Witchfinder to give us some coins and set up bounties, which synergizes with the Scoundrel, who can spend those coins to destroy cards with bounties. Then at the end of our turn, we'll get another card with a bounty on it from the Witchfinder and take that out with the Scoundrel. Then in round 2/3, we'll start by generating as many coins as we can with cards like the Tax Collector, as well as the Beggar. Then we'll start giving our units Veil with cards like Marlene, as well as the Fortune Teller, and Fallen Rayla if we have her. Then we'll play the Bleinheim brothers, and Roland will give us coins whenever we poison someone, and Gellert will give us a source of poison. And that is all to set up our final play, which will be the Salamander, and because this is our only 9 provision cost unit, we'll play it once and poison every unit on the board, and as long as we have the Bleinheim brothers, then we'll get a lot of coins when we do that. And then with Double Down, we'll play the other Salamander from our deck on the same turn, which will poison every unit on the board a second time, removing every unit on the board that does not have Veil. That means if you save this card for last, you can win the game by removing every single unit on your opponent's side of the board. And the more Veil we have, the more of our units survive. Otherwise, the Salamander alone will be enough. So those are the key combos, but now I'll flip through the deck to show you what else we have. And of course, as always, I'll leave the deck link and deck list in the description so you have everything you need if you want to play this deck yourself. So Selective Mutation is a way of getting a Bleinheim brother in case you don't have one ready to go for round 3. Same with Eavesdrop. And Soul Mutations is another way of getting Veil in round 3. Pellar is in case your opponent does have a unit in round 3 that would survive the Salamander. And Street Urchins is an option in round 1 if you have coins to spare and you need a few extra points. So there's a look at the deck, and like I said, it is all built around setting up the Salamander to wipe the entire board at the end of the match. For that reason, it is important to fight for the round 1 win aggressively, because you really want to have last say in round 3. That way your opponent can't do anything after you destroy all their units with the Salamander. This deck is going to be a ton of fun, so let's go see it in action. Alright, so going up against Scoia'tael here, and we'll go first. Okay, and so I like the Sly Seductress in round 1, as well as the Witchfinder. We have 1 Bleinheim brother, as well as the Salamander for round 3. Oneiromancy will also help. Let's get rid of Eavesdrop. I don't think we'll need that. Fallen Rayla is nice to have for round 3, but not strictly needed. Let's get rid of the Pellar. Doadrick will be great for round 1. That's awesome. And with all these, I don't think we'll need Selective Mutation. We'll have enough ways to get our second Bleinheim brother. Let's start with Sly Seductress. So that'll get boosted whenever they play a card. Alright, they're going to go with Eskel. And then a Defender, Figus. Okay, now let's go with Doadrick. And that'll give us Snowdrop. Then we'll use them to draw some cards. And I think we prefer Royal Decree, Stolen Mutagens, at least in round 1. And there is a second Bleinheim brother, which is very good for round 3, but we need to save it. We can't play it in round 1. So I guess we'll hold on to it for now, but we may need to swap out of it later. We find ourselves holding on to only round 3 cards. Alright, they're going to go Curse of Corruption, which will get rid of Doadrick. That's unfortunate, but we do have another one that we can get right here. So let's use Oneiromancy into Oneiromancy. And we'll get him now. That'll give us the other Snowdrop. So let's use these guys. Don't think we want the Tax Collector. Don't think we need these two either. Alright, they're going to Elzer's Thunder. Trying to get rid of Doadrick, and they may be able to on their next turn, but we can use them here. Marlene is another good to have in round 3, but not strictly needed. I think we will put her back, though, because we're getting too many cards that need to be in round 3. So now let's go Royal Decree and get more Sly Seductresses out here. Okay, they're going with Tainted Ale, which will be more damage. They're going to use to get rid of Doadrick. That means our Snowdrops are now capped at this amount of power. Well, we can get a little more with Curse Scroll, so we'll use that soon. But first, let's go with the Witchfinder. This will give us, of course, some coins and some bounty. And let's just spend those coins now. Alright, they're going to pass. That'll give us a pretty simple, straightforward round 1 win here. Okay, so we draw into round 2 of Oneiromancy, and then Stolen Mutagens. We did play one more card than our opponent in round 1, but we still have a card to burn here. So that'll probably be something like the Beggar, just to get us some coins. Let's get rid of Stolen Mutagens. Paul and Rayla, we definitely don't want 2 of them. Okay, so yeah, let's use the Beggar in this case, and that's probably going to be the only card we play in this round. Alright, they're going with Mata. So that will give us both an additional card. And in this case, just means we'll have another card to throw away. Well, it'll give them Yennefer Conjurer. I mean, it is a somewhat dangerous card. It does have a lot of damage, but I mean, we're not actually trying to push here in round 2. We're just using our throwaway cards, and in this case, it means we can get more coins, so that's fine. Would potentially spend those coins with the Street Urchins, and there's something to be said for that, but I really think we're just trying to save our coins so we have some carryover going into round 3, and we don't care at all about round 2. Alright, they're using leader ability charges here, and then their other Yen Conjurer. So good for them to get rid of those cards in round 2. And now we're going to pass, because that way we'll get back up to 10 cards in round 3, and we'll still have last say. And technically, these tax collectors will continue to get boosted, because we're at our maximum of 9 coins. So whenever we over-earn, our leader ability will give us some points. Okay, Ciri Nova has Veil, which is actually more significant than the Resilience. So they will win round 2. And so now what we're looking for is some coin generation, some Veil, and then the double Bleinheim plus Salamander combo. So I don't think we need Eavesdrop. We definitely don't need 3 Bleinheim brothers. And we'll get the Scoundrel. That's maybe workable. But the key problem at the moment is that Ciri Nova has Veil, which means she will survive the Salamanders. So we're going to want to try to get some Purification to get rid of her, although that just became significantly more difficult with a defender blocking her. And I'm not pleased to see a second Ciri, because although the Resilience obviously in round 3 doesn't matter at all, Veil does. Fortunately, they put that one in a different row from the Defender, so that one is easy to purify. And I'm somewhat skeptical that they'll have other forms of Veil, so I think it's safe to use our Pellar to get rid of that Veil immediately. So let's go Nero. Well, we actually have a Pellar in our hand, so this does still work. We'll get rid of your Veil, and then we'll get a Tax Collector. Give us some more coins, and then if for some reason they play another Veiled unit in their melee row where it is not protected by the Defender, we can remove that Veil with our other Pellar. Right, Dunka does have Veil. So that is another card that we would like to purify. Not worth as many points as Ciri. so it's not quite as big of a threat, but it does mean that we are probably going to need to make a deliberate point of getting 1 or 2 big veiled units on our side, otherwise they're actually going to outscore us, even after we use our Salamander combo. So yes, let's go with another Pellar here, and purify the veil on this Dunka, and then Street Urchins will give us a few coins, and I mean, the fact that it's a spender doesn't really matter. Okay, Dryad Matron. Ooh, and actually, yeah, we would like to do any and everything we can to limit the amount of boost that Dunka gets. So we're fortunate that they played that Cat Witcher there, because it did reduce the boost on Dunka. And that Cat Witcher is actually going to be a little bit problematic, because it will deal some damage, which could make it slightly tricky for our Bleinheim brothers, for example, to stick around. That is important. So for now, let's go with the Fortune Teller, and we'll give Veil to this Tax Collector. And then the Beggar will just get some coins for us, and it will over-earn, so it'll get boosted. And because we are at our max, that means the Tax Collector is over-earning, so that'll get boosted. Okay, Doublethon the Sentry. I'm fine with that. The Cat Witcher is, again, a little bit more of an issue because of the damage. But hopefully, as we get more units out here, it'll be less likely for them to hit the units that we actually care about. Alright, so now let's go with another Fortune Teller here. And give some more Veil. And, well, give some more Veil. Okay, they're going to go with Garrison. Oh, that's not the card I want them to boost. I think they might know. Alright, so let's use Fallen Rayla here. And we should have enough coins that we can pay her tribute. And then I think I'm going to play the second one in the same row, just because they could very well have a Gezras, given how they do seem to be Scoia'tael movement. Let's pay this too. Because again, the Veil is going to be key, and for that reason, let's even a little bit of boosting here. Okay, they're going to go triangle within a triangle. That will destroy one of our Fallen Raylas, but that's actually kind of a good thing, because she's not as important as some of the cards we are about to play, so if anything, she's just removal bait. Now let's go with the Scoundrel, and I deliberately waited a bit to play this, just in case we are at the risk of giving them an engine. Still think we probably need to save a little bit more of our coins here. We spent somewhat aggressively earlier. Oh, and they have a Pellar too. Okay, so good thing we are getting rid of that. Now, of course, we used the Witchfinder already, so that means we aren't going to be able to put bounty on anyone else. So at this point, the Scoundrels are just point slams. And of course, eventually, they're going to get destroyed by the Salamanders unless we give them Veil. But once again, we hope that they may be some removal bait. Okay, Rune Right. That's an interesting one. They got unlucky there. They got double Rune Right. Alright, so now what we do is we go Oneiromancy into Marlene. And she is key, because she has Veil herself, and then she will also give Veil to the Bleinheim brothers that we play on our next turn. Alright, Garrison, they're going for their other Veiled unit, so yeah, I'm pretty sure they know. Alright, so now we start playing the Bleinheim brothers. And Roland is the one that is particularly important. So for him, let's make sure we put on the Veil. Alright, it's a huge Cat Witcher. Wow. And then another Cat Witcher, and in some ways, at this point, that actually might be a good thing, because we're starting to run out of board space. So those Cat Witchers may remove some cards, some weaker cards, and do us a favor. Okay, that was one of our Veiled units, which is a little unfortunate, but I believe we now have enough space to play both the 2 remaining Bleinheim brothers and both Salamanders. Alright, and now they're going after the wrong Bleinheim brother. So they only have 1 card remaining here. And we do have some board space, so it is safe to do our other Bleinheim brothers here and still have room for the Salamander. So let's play ya. And then we'll get our other Bleinheim brother out here. And this is the other one we want to give Veil to. And then if we were concerned about them having enough damage to remove both of our Rolands, we could put a Jackpot on one of them to give them a big boost. I think that's relatively unlikely because we've seen them use a lot of removal already. But maybe we go with that, just for a somewhat moderate boost there. Okay, so what is their last card? It's Artifact Impression. Okay, so they will reset our Fallen Rayla. They are in the lead, but of course we still have our big bad combo here. So even after all these boosts and all this damage, as long as we still have Roland, we should be fine. So, I mean, sure, we can use Jackpot if we'd like. Then we use the Salamander and pay the tribute. Poison everybody. Do it again. Poison everybody again. Destroy basically the entire board except for those that have Veil, and that's why we were concerned about those earlier. But I think we'll be just fine. Alright, so going up against Northern Realms here. And we'll go first. Okay, and we have the Witchfinder, the Scoundrel, and Doadrick, which are all great round 1 cards. We don't have much in the way of good round 3 cards, though. So let's get rid of Stolen Mutagens. Royal Decree can help. Let's get rid of one of our Fortune Tellers. We got one of the Bleinheim brothers. That is one of the key combos for round 3. Then let's get rid of the Pellar. And we get Rayla, which is a nice to have, but not a need to have for round 3. But once you bear in mind that we have Cursed Scroll, which we can use to get Oneiromancy, I think we'll be fine. So let's start with the Witchfinder. And we'll get the other one out from our deck. Alright, they're going to go Rune Word into a Meditating Mage. That'll give them a Banard Student as well. Now let's go with the Scoundrel. That'll put a bounty on that Aretuza Adept. We'll get the other Scoundrel out from our deck. And that'll move it over to the Aretuza Student, who happens to be in the melee row where she's not supposed to be. But now what we do is we spend some of these coins here so that we can destroy that Aretuza Student. And now the Witchfinder will put the bounty on either the Banard Student or the Aretuza Adept at the end of this turn. Alright, now they're going with Doadrick. And they'll get Rafford's Vengeance out from their deck. Okay, so we will need 2 more coins in order to take out this Aretuza Adept, so let's do that. And now at the end of this turn, Witchfinder should put the bounty on Doadrick, which is not a great target, because of course he has the shield, and he has the armor. But now let's go Doadrick. And that'll give us our other Doadrick out from our deck. That second one will get Zeal. And with him... Okay, I do like the Sly Seductress. That is a good card for round 1. So let's get rid of the Eavesdrop. And yeah, as expected, bounty on Doadrick. Now, Amphibious Assault into a Centurion Spellweaver. And that'll give them another Centurion Spellweaver. They should have played next to Rafford's Vengeance. Same with that Mage. Okay, now this is a little bit of an unusual play because the bounty went on a really tanky unit. But let's go with Street Urchins, just for the profitability alone. And then, well, the Pellar could purify the shield, but would also get rid of the bounty, and that's no good. So, I don't know, just throw that away. Then... damage. Then leader ability for more damage. So then that bounty will move over to that Spellweaver, and unfortunately we just didn't have time to use Doadrick's orders there, which would have been preferable. Okay, and Doadrick is, as we just said, a little annoying, but fortunately at the moment that bounty is on the Spellweaver, not Doadrick. And the Scoundrel damage will go around Doadrick, so it doesn't matter that they have a defender. And they played Yen, so they're going to try to match up the power of our units. Fortunately, the Scoundrel is pretty tall, so that makes it a little bit tricky. Okay, so now what we do is we can destroy this Spellweaver using the Scoundrel. So we'll do that. Then we'll use Curse Scroll, get Oneiro, and we'll put back, I guess, a Fortune Teller. We'll use Oneiro, get Snowdrop. That'll get us our other Snowdrop. Then we use all of these card drawing stuffs, boost up those Snowdrops, and fine-tune our hand further. We already have a Fallen Rayla. We don't need another. We do like Bleinheim Brothers, so let's keep you. And I don't particularly like either of you. Okay, that looks good. Now the bounty will go onto Doadrick, so once again, that is a little troublesome. It'll go with Rune Word into another Meditating Mage. They've not yet used their Meditating Mage order ability, so they will likely get some resilience, especially if they get another Meditating Mage out here. But once again, our tall units are making it hard for them to set up Yennefer Conjurer. Alright, but they will use those Meditating Mage order abilities now, which suggests they are probably looking to pass soon. So let's go with the Sly Seductress just in case. It means that whenever they play cards, we're going to get boosted, which is definitely nice in case they do want to keep on going. Otherwise, let's use Doadrick. Give us a few more boosts on our Snowdrop. Don't think we want the Beggar. Would be a decent throwaway card at the end of the round if we were anticipating we would go one more turn, but I think that is not the plan. And likewise with Fortune Teller. And we could use the Scoundrel for a little bit more damage on Doadrick, but between that shield and the armor, it's not going to make much of a difference, so I feel like we might as well just save the coins. Alright, they're using a leader ability charge here, so they are definitely still playing. It's another Rune Word. But remember, every time they play a card, Sly Seductresses are getting boosted. They do have a fair bit of patience, though, so that's going to become a pretty big Aretuza Adept. It is unfortunate, because I was really hoping we were going to pass in our next turn. Okay. And we still have about a 30-point lead here, but perhaps more importantly, the only card we'd be willing to play at the moment would be Royal Decree. I mean, we could potentially switch something out by using our Doadricks, but I think we pass here. And they are playing. They're using the last of their leader ability charges here. They'll get Amphibious Assault. And with that, they'll get another Meditating Mage, so they're going all in on the Resilience. But the thing about that is, they don't have any room for their Banard soon. It will still proc the Patience for their Aretuza Adept, but they have not passed us. So they do still need to play more cards in round 1, go several cards down if they are trying to win round 1. Alright, now Letitia? No, not now. You gotta play her early. What is this? Alright, they may be able to pass us at the end of this turn with their damage. And their Aretuza Adept, if they will. They go 2 cards down to take the round 1 win. And of course, the reason why they were willing to do that was because they did get a fair bit of resilience here. That's 15 points with all those Meditating Mages. So that means round 2 may be a little bit tricky. I don't think we need Selective Mutation. That is primarily a way to get Bleinheim Brothers, and we already have those. Salamander is, of course, a card we are going to need to play later on. Did I forget to go Oneiromancy into Oneiromancy in round 1? Apparently I did. We should have gotten both Echoed Copies in round 2. I do like the Sly Seductress here. I think that is a good card for us to play if they do try to bleed us, which is possible. They're 2 cards down, but how confident are they feeling with all their resilience? Okay, they will pass. So now the question just becomes, how can we most quickly and efficiently generate 16 points? And unfortunately, I don't think it's possible for us to do that in one turn. We are going to need to use 2 turns. In which case, let's instead focus on getting a little bit of coins while we do this. So let's go Oneiromancy into Oneiromancy and get a tax collector out here. And a beggar as well. And now if we go Royal Decree into either Marlene, or if we're feeling bold, a Street Urchins, I think we stick with Marlene, was going to be a nice card for round 3. But we'll keep it simple here and just make sure we have enough points to take the round 2 win. Okay, so we drew into round 2 of Oneiromancy, Tax Collector, and our third Bleinheim brother. We don't need 3 of them, because we have 2 in our hand. We'll get the other 2 out of our deck when we play them. So let's get rid of you. You can give us Veil, which is actually quite helpful. And the Sly Seductress is not really helping us, because it's just going to get destroyed. So let's get rid of you. Now we don't need Selective Mutation, though. So let's just get the coins early and often. And I suppose we are giving you Veil. Not the ideal target, but it works. Alright, Selkirk. And another Yen. I mean, it would be nice if our Veiled units stayed alive, but it's not the end of the world if they don't. So let's go Selective Mutation here. And we'll get Fallen Rayla. It's the only Adrenaline card that we have in our deck at the moment, because we already have the Bleinheim brothers. We don't need that Fallen Rayla, though, because we'll get this out of our deck when we play the other Fallen Rayla, so we're just going to get rid of it. So it's basically just a throwaway card, and that's why I was saying I didn't want that to be in our hand. But I'm deliberately stalling, because I don't want them to be able to destroy a Bleinheim brother with Selkirk. I'd love if they committed early to using him. Biggest thing we're looking for here is if they have Veil. If they get that, then things start to become tricky. But now Fallen Rayla's Adrenaline ability is active, so we can play her, and she might be big enough to bait them into using Selkirk's dual ability. So let's use her here. And I think we will want to use the Tribute here. We have just enough coins that I think it's safe. Alright, they'll use their other Rafford's Vengeance. That will give them some more damage. And they might be... Oh, they do use Selkirk. Okay, that's actually huge. They may have a way to get that dual ability back, but if not, then that could be very big, because that should mean that it is now safe to use the Bleinheim brothers. So let's play one of them here. And we'll get the other one out from our deck. And now Roland becomes the card that we're going to want to give Veil. Alright, they go Amphibious Assault. And they do, theoretically, have another Selkirk in their deck. They might be looking to get him now. No, they're going for a Spellweaver instead. Okay. That means they'll get another Spellweaver. Okay, let's play our other Bleinheim brothers. And we should be poisoning our Veiled units here. Alright, they'll go Amphibious Assault. And is this another Duelist? Or someone that has Veil? It's Sheila. That's a little bit more damage. See who they choose to go for here. They're really fixed on Fallen Rayla. They locked the wrong Bleinheim brother. Okay, so we haven't seen them use any Veil yet, so I'm going to take a little bit of a risk here and assume that they are not going to have any, because if they did, we want to go Oneiromancy into a Pellar to remove that Veil. But instead, let's get a little bit greedy, go Oneiromancy into Stolen Mutagens, and we're going to go green here to get Veil and a boost, and put that on this Bleinheim brother. Make it a little bit harder for them to destroy him, and then we can boost him up like that. Alright, there is the other Selkirk. They had it in their hand. But it's a little late to be playing him. They probably do now realize that this is the card they should be going for. They're boosting him up in anticipation of the duel. So what we're going to do here is we'll go with the Fortune Teller in the range row and give this Roland also Veil. And I'm sure we'll get coins, although it doesn't really matter here. So we can poison either Bleinheim brother. In either case, they're capable of getting rid of it with Selkirk. So I think we actually boost this one. Alright, they're going with Oneiromancy into their other Oneiromancy. Again, we very much do not want them to get Veil. That is the biggest problem because we have now committed. Okay, that's fine. As is that. Alright, there's the duel, as we expected. Oh, don't like this, though. Oh, yes, please, leave. Leave our Bleinheim brothers alone. Oh, they're focused too much on balancing out rather than actually removing Roland. And let's just say he's about to get kinda big here, because here comes the Salamander. We'll just pay this tribute. And then we'll just pay this tribute as well, as we teach them to fear the Salamander. And here we go, 101-0. What is their last card? And they forfeit. We'll take the win. So there's look at a crazy powerful board-wiping Syndicate Salamander deck for the new Double Down seasonal event. If you liked the video, then make sure to hit the like and subscribe button and leave a comment down below to let me know which other cards, archetypes, and factions you'd like us to experiment with next. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you next time.